We are pleased to welcome Dr. Ravi Ranjan Karn, an experienced AI practitioner currently working with Accenture. With a strong background in applied machine learning and data science, Dr. Karan has contributed to impactful industry scale solutions across domains. In today's 2-hour practical session, he will guide us through project ideation and dataset selection, helping us bridge the gap between theoretical understanding and real world implementation. Mike to you over, sir.
Thank you, Gaurav. So today I'll discuss about uh, ideation and dataset selection. So I'll focus more on dataset selection, and I have copied some of the dataset into the Google Drive, right? So maybe Rakesh sir or somebody can help you get that dataset. Okay. So am I able to share my screen? Let me try.
Yes,
And
sir. We can see your
please
screen.
let me know if you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Okay. Okay. So first we have to think about how to ideate the project, right? So if we have start working on the project, then how to get into the project, right? Which project to select and all those things that we have to think about first, right? So when we see the problems around, right, we find some of the problems that is worth working on so that we can try to solve. And for researchers, it is always the problem they have to look at and try to find this, right? So look at the problems around you, that is the first thing that you have to do. And then find a problem out of those problems that you have identified, and then you have to think more and more on the problem. Okay, so once you think more and more on the problem, you come up with the problem statement. Right now, once you come up with your problem statement, then you have to develop the blueprint of the solution. And along with that, you have to choose the data set and for experimentation. Then obviously you have to go for experimentation, and you have to come up with results, and then you have to establish the solution. So this is how problem statement and solution works, right? But in this, one thing is very important is choosing the data set, because based on that data set only you will be able to solve the problem, right? The solution that you want to give, you have to choose the data set wisely so that you can do proper experimentation and come up with the correct results. Okay, so how to select data set? The first thing is it should be relevant to your research. Then it should have good quality. There should not be any bias in the data regarding anything, right? So maybe gender bias or any bias that you can think of, right? So it should not have. It should be very clean, and clean in sense of the quality, so in the sense of bias, so that it should not be skewed towards something. Okay, so if if we have to get the data, right, and that is gender neutral, so gender should not have any bias. Okay, then the data should be accurate and complete, right? So that is one another thing, because the missing values and outliers and other things, if those things are there in the data, then you may not get the right result, right? So the data quality should be good, and it should have good sample size. So sample size has two attributes. One thing is sufficiency, right? So we should have enough data from all possible cases, and it should be scalable. By scalability, we mean that whenever we want to integrate our data source from other data source, then it should scale, right? It should not be like very small data set, or sample size is so less, so we cannot integrate. Okay, then there should be diversity in samples, right? So samples should not be, suppose you are working on the classification problem, right? So the sample should be with all the classes, right? There should not be class imbalance. So that also we have to consider when we are considering the data set. Then another thing is metadata and documentation, right? So if we have metadata and documentation around the data set, that helps us choose the data set. Otherwise happens is you have the data, but you don't know which column means what, right? How to use the data, which one is the target column, which all are the columns, what does that mean, right? So if it is like a1, a2, a3, a4, these are the column names, and you don't know the meaning, right? So the metadata is not provided to you, then you will not be able to understand the data, and then you may not select the data. So metadata and documentation is very much important while selecting the data. The last thing is licensing and usage restriction. So the data that you are tending to use, right? So you should have proper license to use that. Never try to use some restricted data, right? So you may land up in some problems. Or whenever many people who are sharing the people or the organization who are sharing that data, and have to take the written confirmation from them that you can use the data, right? So please take care of that. Don't try to use some restricted data without taking the right permission. Okay, so I'll talk about the dataset repositories, right? So which all dataset repositories are there. Then I'll talk about the task domain specific datasets. Then I'll talk also about some other data set links, and I'll show you the data set that I have placed in the folder. Okay, so here in Drive, right, I have placed all the data sets, right? So we have Office Caltech V6, Office Caltech dataset, right? Office Home dataset, Office 31 datasets, Pi dataset, Underwater dataset, USPS Omnis dataset, okay, and Fruits dataset. So Fruits and uh, Underwater dataset, these are the two datasets created by Rakesh sir and Dr. Rakesh Marsonadia sir and his team. Okay, and then we have Coil dataset. So we'll discuss about these things one by one, right? So let me first, we were talking about the Kaggle dataset. So Kaggle has a lot of dataset with it, right? So you can use whenever it is required. So in this I have placed all the dataset here, right? So if you want, I can share this with you guys, you people, right? So this is the link. Let me share the links. This is okay. So here you will get different data sets that you can use, right? Then another one is data set search from Google, right? So datasearch.research.google.com. Here you can search for the data set, right? So if I want to write iris data set, okay, I've written it wrong, iris. Okay, then I can get it. All the details are there, right? So description, then from where you can find, right? So these are the different iris data sets that you can have. So you can search download format that you can consider that which one you want. Based on that, you can collect the data set from Google, right? So this is the link. Let me share that thing with you. Then third one is UCI university database, right? So it has a good data repository, right? So it has good repository for machine learning repository, right? So you have iris data set, you have herd disease data set, wine quality data set, gasoline. These are, there are many popular data sets, new and all new data sets. You can consider whichever you want. What is your use case? Based on that, you can use. So let me share this also with you people. Okay. And then there is open ml.org, so it has also got a lot of data sets, right? So you can go to data sets and search for any data set, but you have to sign up and use that. So this is not very much used, but you can also try to use sometimes when you try to get some data that you are not finding anywhere else. Okay. Then this is the link for NASA dataset, right? So NASA has lot of a dataset based on weather conditions, on the uh, images from satellites and other things, right? So you can use this link to get the dataset from NASA. Okay, you can explore this and you can find the data from there. Okay. Then another thing was this is data.gov, right? So this is the uh, link for getting the data from US government, right? So US government has lot of data. You may not be able to use the data from US things, right? Or regression, but you can use the data set from here and build your data set that you can use for your project, right? Yeah, Gaurav. So I'll share with you the slides. Okay. Then we have data.gov.in. So this is the data URL for Government of India. So Government of India also has lot of data regarding agriculture, regarding all the you see, right? So regarding economy, education, environment and forest, so many statistical data that those are here, right? Science and technology, labor and eh, employment, right? So a lot of data is there with data.gov.in, but only on the same way that I told about data.gov, that is from US government. You may not be able to use the data directly in your machine learning uh, um, problems, but you can create your dataset based on your requirement. So that we have used for domain adaptation, right? So there are many domain adaptation data sets. So one is Office and Caltech, right? So it is used for object recognition. So it has got 2533 samples, and this is based on the search feature. Okay, and it has got 10 classes, right? And four subdomains. So C stands for Caltech, A stands for Amazon, W stands for webcam, and D stands for let me D stands for DSLR. Okay, so the images which are taken from DSLR is with D. Okay. Okay, so it has Caltech, Amazon, Web, and DSLR. Okay, so then we have Office 31. Office 31 has 4110 samples. Again, these are with search feature. So I have shared these data, right? So with both search feature and as well as decoding. You can copy from there. You can also use this link to get the get the uh, data from there. Okay, so let me share this. Okay, and then we have uh, USPS is US Post Office dataset. So they had created dataset to recognize the digits, right? So from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay. So I'll show you how it looks like, right? So label me, sun, and all these VOC, level, me, sun, and these are all collected together, and those are VLCS dataset. So V, L, C, and S. So these are four datasets which we can use together for domain adaptation. So those are all used for um, object recognition, and those are collectively used. So we have quite 20 data set. So it has two subsets, right? So it is coil 1 and coil 2. This is mostly a toy data set. I'll show you in bottom how these are used, right? So how it looks like. So see, these are this is Office Caltech data set. So these are images from Caltech, taken from Caltech database, and this is from the Amazon database. It has been taken. These are the photos taken from the webcam, and these are the photos taken from the DSLR. Okay, so you can go in depth. I have shared with you the link. You can go in depth and see that how it works, right? So it has two types of right. So one is surf feature. So in surf feature we have 800 features or 800 columns, and for decaf we have 4096. So based on your requirement, you can use any of the data. I have already shared the data with uh, Google Drive, right? But you can use this link also to go to the dataset and download it. So if you see here, so you can download the original images from here. You can download the surf dataset from here. You can download decaf dataset from here. So accordingly, we have Office 31 also, right? So you can it has 31 categories, and those 31 categories are from Amazon, webcam, and DSLR. Okay, so you can download it. Okay, then MNIST and USPS, these are the handwritten data set, and you can download it. The link is here. You can also download it from the Google Drive that I have shared. So quality 20 is object recognition data set, and it has got 20 classes, and there are two data sets, two subdomains, coil 1 and coil 2. In pi is facial recognition data set. Okay, so uh, here the images, facial images are there, right? And in different orientations, different lighting, right? So it has the yeah. So somebody is Rajesh Kumar is asking about we have any medical image data set. I'll discuss about that, right? I'll show you. Okay. Then we have a pi data set, VLCS, all these things we have discussed, right? Uh, Okay, then Office Home. Office Home is a new data set that is released in CBPR 2017. Right, so it has got 65 different types of objects. Okay, and this is we are using for domain adaptation. I have also used this in some of my research. So because it has got many classes, and for every class we have lot of data we can use. So data diversity is too much, right? And in domain adaptation we want to show that our method is good for the data with diverse data set, right? So in that we can use this office home and showcase that how much diverse data we have of we are able to get good results with the method that we are proposing, right? So if you have to showcase that your method is good for diverse data set, then you can use office home data set. Okay, so these are the ones. And then this is another link for uh, this is the another link for transfer data set. Then this data set is used okay. The another one was for image segmentation, right? So this data set is for Oxford triple IT paid data set is for segmentation. If you see that this had got so many images, and then you can use for segmentation. So let me share this with you. Okay. And then someone was asking about the medical image data set, right? So for medical image data set, we had this one, right? So we have medical image segmented data set, right? So we have so many data sets that you can use from here. So let me share this also with you. Okay. Now l- let me another thing that is left here is, we discussed about all these things. Then there is one uh, set link that has got so many diverse data sets. So let me show you and share that with you. So this is best free public data set in use in Python. So you can use this in Python, and it has got um, 365 sorry, not 365, that is not that is in the name, but you have got a lot of data sets that we can use in machine learning, right? So Boston House price data set, Amnes data set, you can get wine quality, cancer diagnosis data set, right? IMDb data set. So you can get many data sets from here. Okay, so these are the links that I have shared. Now let me show you the before I show you, what data sets that I have shared. Let me show you some of the data sets that we can use from Python, right? So Python libraries also have a few data sets. Okay, so we in scikit in scikit-learn we have one datasets library that is from Hugging Face. So you can use. Yeah, so see, satellite image data set, weather data sets, all these things you can use Google. I have already shared with you Google data set search from, you can get those from there. Okay, so you can this one that I have shared with you, right? Google dataset search engine. So you can search from there if you want to get satellite or weather dataset or whatever dataset you want. Okay. Now, is there any other question that is there? Yeah. So underwater dataset link, um, I have already put that thing into Google Drive. You will get it. Uh, Megha is asking about share the links again, right? So links are there. I'll share the slide also, so you can get the link from there. Okay. Now let me show you, few of the data sets that you can use directly from Python, right? So one is scikit-learn. So if you have scikit-learn installed in your computer, right? So you can in Python you can do from sklearn import datasets. And if you see that these are the datasets that you have, right? So you have dataset for breast cancer, diabetes, digits, files, iris, Leonard, right? So sample images, blobs, so many are there, right? And based on this, you can use that. So uh, how to see the description of this? So you have to write datasets load underscore that dataset, right? So load breast cancer or load uh, diabetes, right? And then there is one function called DESCR. So if you use that DESCR, here we are using the wine dataset, right? So datasets dot load wine and then dot DESCR. If you write that, then you will be able to see the metadata, right? So it says that number of instances is 178, number of attributes are 13, those are numerical, and then we have predictive attributes and the classes. Okay, and the attributes are alcohol, maltic acid, and all those things, right? So and we have three classes: class 0, class 1, and class 3. And this is the statistics, right? Okay, this is the statistics about that. Okay, so based on these statistics, you can think that which data set you can use. So now you understood, right? So in scikit-learn you have to see the uh, and then when you have to fetch the data, then you have to use fetch underscore that data set. I'll show you here, right? Or load data set. So if you see here, so wine data equal what we are taking data set dot load wine dot data. So then that data is loaded, and then we make a data frame out of that, and then we can see the columns. And columns are feature names in this, right? Data sets dot load wine dot feature names. So the column names are the feature names, right? You can get from there, and then you can save the data. So wine data is like this. So you have I have taken five records, right? So these are the columns: alcohol, maltic acid, and all this, right? So this is how you can make the data out from the. Okay. Okay, Sangeeta, so let me come back, right? So it is from sklearn import datasets. And I have also shared this Jupyter notebook in the Google Drive that you can get. Okay, but now you can see, right? So Rajesh Kumar is asking about a special data set for X-ray images and lung images, right? So I have not used it, but you can search on the Google data search. Okay. Okay, Sangeeta, I'm again showing you how to use it, right? So from sklearn import datasets, that is what you have to do, right? And then any dataset that you have. So what I have done is dir dataset. So I have listed all the functions that we have in dataset library, right? So we have few functions called load underscore the dataset name, right? So we'll use those, right? So if you see here datasets dot load wine, right? Load wine was one data set here, right? So load wine, and then dscr with this you will be able to see the metadata. Okay, now when you have to use it, right? So dot load wine dot data. So data is the those are the uh, those are stored as list or array, right? So all those array you can consider in wine data, right? And then you can create a data frame out of that. Okay, and then the column names are there in feature names. So feature names, datasets dot load wine dot feature names, right? So those are the column names. So column names we have already changed with this wine data. So I'll show you one by one how it works, right? So if I run this, so I'm not run this. Run. Now let me run this. So after running, if you see here, right, wine data. Now you see here, so we have got the data, but the column names are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Now, if you see the column names, now if I just run this feature names, so these are the feature names in the load wine, right? So these are the feature names, right? And these we have to consider as columns, right? So what we have done, wine data, that is this is the data frame, wine data dot columns, and we are getting the column names from datasets dot load wine dot feature names. Okay, so that is how we are able to create the wine data that we can use in our project. Okay, then now we have to get the target dataset also, right? So that is dataset which are all features. Now we have to get the target. So you can write dataset dot load wine dot target. So if you do that, then you will be able to get the targets, right? So these are all the targets. Okay, the similar way you can go for making the iris data set, right? So we are making the data frame out of datasets dot load iris dot data. Then column names are again dataset dot load iris dot feature, right? So you are able to make accordingly. You will be able to make other datasets, right? So you can also use fetch 20 news group vectorized. So these are the NLP data sets which has been vectorized, and that you can use directly, right? So we have a train data set, we have test data set, right? So you can see that from sklearn.datasets import fetch underscore 20 news group underscore vectorized as news, right? And then we are getting the train dataset, so it is subset equal to train, right? And then if you put dot data, then you will get the uh, training data that is there, right? And then if you want to see the labels, then news subset equal to train dot target. So these are the targets, right? So if I'm it has got 20 labels, right? So I have got the unique numbers, so 0, 1, 2, 3 till 19, 0 to 19. Now test data that we have considered here. Okay, and then we can also get the target as we got in the train. So news subset equal to test dot target, then you will get the target data, and then you can create a data frame out of this and you can use it. Okay, then we also have got a few other data sets like s- so digit data set. Okay, so the same way you can you know create data frame out of data sets dot load digits dot data, and then so these are there are 64 uh, columns, right? So and then one is target, so 1 to 64 63. If you we don't need to write the feature names here because this is image data, right? So image data we don't need to have the column names, right? That's why we don't have, and there is nothing called dot feature. Okay, then this is from this data we have also tried to create the image, right? So this is 0, right? So So we are getting from digit matrix, we are getting the first uh, first row, and then we are reshaping it to 8 by 8, and then that the first one was 0, right? So if let me show you this. Okay, and then digits 0, right? So if you see here digits 0, uh, dot lock. So target was 0 here. If you see, target was 0, right? And we are able to make 0 out of this image. Okay. Then in stat models also we have datasets module, right? So you can use from there. So cancer dataset, check internet, China smoking, all these datasets are there, right? You can use, right? So here in this datasets dot dataset name dot note, if you see there, then note is giving you the documentation, right? So you can see the documentation and you can use it. Okay, and source is from where it has we have got it, right? So dataset dot dataset name dot source, if you write, then you will see that from which source you have got it. Okay, and then if you want to so for datasets dot e, any dataset name dot load pandas dot data, if you write, then you will be able to create the data frame from this, right? So from stat models, right, we have one function called load underscore pandas. Okay, why is the length 1797? Here, right, so you are talking about length was 1797, this one, right? So this is not the length, these are the number of rows. You were talking about, length when I was doing this digits 0, right? Then what it is doing is it is taking this length 1797, right? Why it was coming is because it has got 1797 rows, right? When I have done digit 0, so what it is doing is it is taking first column of all the rows, right? So there are 1797 rows, that's why the length was coming 1797. Okay, and the columns, right, are from 0 to 63, so there are 64 features. Okay, okay, then you have uh, dataset also in Hugging Face, right? So you can install it like pip install datasets. Okay, and then it did not work in my computer, but you can use it. I have got, so this is the one, right? So pip install dataset, and then uh, you can use also conda for this. So conda install minus c hugging face minus c conda force dataset, so you can get it, and then you can use it as from datasets import load dataset, and then from hugging face import list datasets. So it will have the all the list of the dataset. So you can print the dataset dot id. So dataset id you can print from dataset for dataset in list dataset. So all the data sets that you have here, you can print the id of that, and then you can use it, right? So one is a square data set, and then you can use load data set, and then this is the id, right? So if you give this id, then you will be able to get the data set, and then you can see that which all columns are there, which all rows are there. Based on that, you can use that. Okay, so let me share this also with you. So these are the Python datasets that we have. Now I will show you the datasets that I have kept in Google Drive. Okay, so in Google Drive, I have kept Office Home dataset, Office Caltech version 6 dataset, Office Caltech 10 that I have shown you, right? So I have also shared one folder called dataset underscore uses, right? So these are the MATLAB files where it shows, it is using the dataset, right? So I'll show you these one by one, right? And then if you are using MATLAB, you can use those functions. These are the MATLAB files. You can use these MATLAB files to use the data. Okay. So I'll show you one from here, right? So if I take Office Caltech data, right? So okay, now see here I have given the data path, user, my name, and then all this blah blah blah, right? So you have to give the data path from where you have stored your data, right? And this data is where the data that I have shared with you in Google Drive. Okay, so you can download from Google Drive, put in your local computer, give the path here, right? And then we have two types of data that we discussed about. One is surf, another is decaf 12, right? So in both we have four subdomain: Caltech 10, Amazon webcam DSLR, right? So you can use this code snippet. Okay, so search feature and decaf feature. So feature and decaf features are not the features of your data set. These are the types of data sets. So considering the surf or considering the decaf, they have come up with the so these are data set created using surf and decaf. Okay, so these are not the features or the columns that we are talking about. Okay, so please understand that. Okay, now you can if your data feature is surf, then how, if you have surf data, then how to fetch it? So source equal to char data set surf, and then I data. I data is what? I data is number 1 to 4, right? So if you see here data set surf, then it has got four values: Caltech 10, Amazon, webcam, and DSLRs, right? So it is iterating on four, all four, right? So it is taking source data and target. So if you have source and target, you can use it. If you otherwise, you can just collect all the data. So it has data path surf and surf underscore l10 dot mat. So mat file should be there. I think I have shared mat file or not. Let me check. Let me check whether I have shared mat file with you or not, because those files are there in the mat file. If I have not shared, I'll share with you. No, I have shared that, I think. uh, no, these mat files I have shared. Okay. Okay. So these are one more thing that I wanted to discuss, right? So I did not come up with that. So the data set that I have shared in Google Drive, all are in mat format. Okay, so you have to convert that into mat, from mat to you get the data, you can store in CSV also, or you can, and in Python also you can use that, right? So let me just search here, convert mat file to CSV, right? So there are functions for that, right? So you can use that. So if you are using, if you want to use data from here and you want to use that thing in Python, then you have to convert the mat file into CSV file to use, right? But if you want to use MATLAB itself, then it will be easier for you to get the data, right? So this is how we get the data for Office Caltech. Right now, let me run this. Once I run this, unable to find this directory. Okay, so it is not there, right? So I'll show you. Maybe this is data pass problem, right? So I'll show you with another ones, right? If you give the right path, you will not get the this result. So CMU data set, right? So we have again five types of data set, right? Pi 5, pi 7, pi 9, pi 27, and pi 29. Okay, and then these are the here we have the source data dot FEA. FEA is for features and dot GND is for ground truth, that is your level. So if I run this, right, so it is giving the data set is equal to pi 5 has 3332 samples, number of features is 1024, and number of classes are 68. So how we are doing is we are getting the sources one by one, right? So this for loop we have run I data equal to 1 to 5, and then every time we are getting the uh, features, ground truth, and then we are saving the size of x source, right? How many rows, how many columns, right? And then how so these are the number of features, these are the number of samples, right? And then how many unique y values are there, so those are the number of classes. Okay, so accordingly we have query data set. So there are what I wanted to show you guys here, right? So there are mat files are saved in different ways, and there are different ways to extract that. That's why I have shared all these mat files with you, right? So you can use these snippets, right? So if you see here, for CMU pi dataset we have FEA and GND, right? For query dataset we may have different ones, right? So if you see here, query dataset we have X underscore SRC and Y underscore SRC. So these are the features and labels, right? So when you are using different data sets, so based on the way mat file is created, you have to extract the data according to that. So if you have MNIST data set, USPS, MNIST, VLCS, Office Home, Office Caltech, Coil, or CMU data set, then you can use these files to fetch the data, and then you can use it in your computer. Okay, so this is all I wanted to discuss for today, right? So if you guys have any question, you can ask me, or what I'll do is I'll share. I have already shared this in Google slide that I'll share in the Google Drive, and then you will be able to get those things uh, from the organizers. Okay. So any question that you guys want to discuss, ask. No, so I was just Sangeeta, right? I just told you that you can get data from NASA, right? So you can use your, any platform, right? If you want to get the data from ISRO, why not go for that, right? So yeah, so you have shared, right? So you guys can get data from anywhere else also, These are the data sets that I was telling that we have used in our research, right? So if you want to use from ISRO, if you want to use from any other country's data set, that is all fine, right? Accordingly, the data that you want. Okay. Anything else? So I'll stop sharing.
Okay,
If
sir.
you have any
Thank you
question.
so much. Thank you
Okay,
so
but
much,
also
sir.
I'll share in Google Drive, and then you can share with the people. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So can we drop now if
Yes, sir. We can.
no question? Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Sangeeta has raised her hand, so if she has any question.
Yeah, just hello. Yeah, sir, just wanted to thank you. And if you could please share your email ID,
Mm-hmm.
so can we connect with you?
Not a problem.
Yeah.
Okay, and please write subject, clearly, right, so that I'll be able to understand that somebody has sent me email. I'll not consider that as junk or delete it. Or you can, if
Yeah,
uh,
sure.
yeah, many times it goes in chunks, so you can use my Gmail ID. The same thing with .gmail.com at gmail.com.
All right. Thank you.
Okay then. Thanks everyone, and have a nice day. Bye bye.